On the stroke of noon, the midday down passenger departs Beeston Market Station, hauled by the most recent addition to the line, Loco number 21 Broxton, a Naismith and Wilson 044. Meanwhile, at Peckforton Station, the Upgoods is shunting some timber wagons into the sawmill sidings, and will later pick up a sheep wagon from the main siding. Ex-Davington Light Railway Locomotive number 6, Manning Wardle 060 Hart Hill, is in charge. A scratch-built body on a Pico motor block. She is one of my favourite locos, powerful, smooth-running, and very responsive. By the time number 6 has finished her shunting manoeuvres, the down midday passenger coasts gently into the station. The goods now meanders its way up the line, crossing and then passing beside the River Gowie, on its way towards Beeston Castle Station. Eventually, the goods reaches Beeston Market Station, the line's main terminus, with connections to the LNWR Chester to Crewe main line and the world outside. Before retiring to the shed for a well-earned rest, number 6 shunts the wagons into the sidings. I gain an immense amount of pleasure from shunting and marshalling good stock, which is why I preferred battery power and radio control. Meanwhile, the passenger train is now returning up the line, passing beneath a train of skips loaded with copper ore, plus a gunpowder van and a fuel tanker being returned to Beeston Market for replenishment. The ore train arrives at Beeston Market and makes its way towards the exchange siding. However, somehow we have to extract the gunpowder van and the fuel tanker. The whole manoeuvre speeded up by 4 times, so you can see how it's done. It's logistical puzzles like these, as well as seeing trains running through a landscape which I have created, which gives me the greatest pleasure. Of course, there's always more than one way of solving a shunting puzzle, and I can imagine that, way back in 1932, when health and safety was not such a high priority, the staff would have found ingenious ways of cutting down the number of moves needed. But it keeps me happy to do it this way. The skips have now been emptied. Well, the full train has been secretly exchanged for the empty one. So the train of empties can now be sent back down the line once more to the copper mine. The midday down passenger has now returned as the early afternoon up. The Naismith and Wilson 044 is based very, very loosely on 2 Skull and Skibbereen locos and has been 3D printed as a kit of parts. After running round its train, loco number 21 Broxton has departed Beeston Market as the mid-afternoon down. Having departed Peckforton, the down passenger now passes Peckforton Gristmill. In the background, the down empty ore train is approaching Peckforton, crossing over the River Gowie. The down passenger coasts gently into Bukeley, the last station before journey's end at Bickerton. Shortly afterwards, the ore train has reached the copper mine and swapped its empties for a train of loaded skips, while loco number 6 manning Waterloo 60 Hart Hill runs light down the main line on its way to the sand quarry. At the sand quarry, number 6 departs with the now loaded hopper wagons. These are based on those which ran on the Snailbeach and District Railways in Shropshire. At Buckley, the up ore train is waiting for the up passenger to clear the section ahead. The quarry train arrives to join the queue. So now you can see why the Peckforton Light Railway has survived, while similar railways were closed in the 1920s and 30s. The up passenger is between Beeston Castle and Beeston Market, while the up sand train is between Buckley and Peckforton. In reality, they would be several miles apart, but in the garden, space and time is compressed, and besides, I think it makes for a fairly interesting shot. Much later, the down afternoon mixed arrives at Peckforton Gristmill. Leaving its passengers to admire the rustic scenery, the loco drops off a van on the mill siding. This scene was inspired by a similar one on the Southwold Railway. In fact, the timber bridge is based on one over the River Blythe at Wenneston. No doubt events such as this would have been a regular occurrence on the Southwold. The down afternoon mixed now draws sedately into Bickerton Station as, in the background, a down ore train is coasting down the gradient towards Peckforton. The mixed is now on its way back up the line on its approach to Buckley Station, with the siding for the boneworks on the right and a general goods siding on the left. Once the line is clear, the down ore train can leave the station loop and take the branch to the copper mine. The whole scene is being observed by us and a passer-by on the road bridge, which takes the main road from Nantwich to Wrexham over the railway. Now, more astute observers may have noticed that a tarpaulin-covered open wagon, now at the rear of the mixed train, has remained attached all the way down the line and back up it. The reason for this now becomes apparent. The wagon, plus a closed van from Bickerton Station, needs to be dropped off at Beeston Castle into the down-facing siding. Leaving the open wagon attached until now is the most efficient way of carrying out this manoeuvre, and also the least disruptive for passengers, who will no doubt be strolling along the platform, having a smoke and admiring the view of the castle. The sandhoppers have been emptied on the exchange siding at Beeston Market and are now making their way back down the line towards the sand quarry, drawn by loco number 6 Hart Hill. This was an opportune telephoto shot taken from the far side of the garden. I just happened to have the camera in my hand as I was doing something else. By chance, the last up ore train of the day pulled into Peckforton Station just as loco number 6, running light back to Beeston Market after dropping off its hoppers at the sand quarry, was awaiting the arrival of the down passenger. Rather than them running up the line sequentially, the two locos joined forces to double-head the ore train back to Beeston Market. Meanwhile, the down passenger is continuing its journey towards Buckley Station. The last train of the day is usually provided by the railway's petrol or diesel rail cars, but today the Spa Hotel at Buckley has requested a special service to be laid on to cater for an influx of guests. Loco number 8, freelance diesel hydraulic Winford, has been rostered to haul 3 coaches plus a luggage van. In the gathering gloom, the train chugs its way down the line. Before eventually and majestically pulling into Buckley Station.